Hi, Raylan.
Hello.
What are we doing today?
Building my chicken nest.
Chicken nest? Chickens need a nest?
Yeah, to lay eggs.
So nest boxes.
Sure.
Is that what they're really called?
No.
What are they called?
Nest.
Chicken nests.
Yeah, that's what Papa calls them.
So we are giving the chickens a place to lay their eggs so that you can go collect the free-range chicken eggs from a box, right?
Yeah.
So your chickens run around and do whatever they want, but they are supposed to lay their eggs in the chicken nest that you give them. Also known as AKA, right? Nest boxes.
Sure.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Guess you call them egg boxes if you want. You ready to get this going?
Yeah.
Are you? You cold? It's cold outside, isn't it? We got some cuts to make. We're going to try to do some fancy stuff. So we don't have to use as many screws, and the thing will basically hold itself together. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. All right, Raylan, the first step is to make the overall dimensions. You chose those dimensions because you want 9 boxes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what is our outside dimension? 3 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to construct a 3-foot square, okay? So we have a chop saw, and then we have an oscillating saw. We've got a drill. We'll probably need a few more tools than that, but right now that's what we're going to start with. So the first step, Raylan, is to find your material, which we have done. We are going to use some leftover rough cut oak that we have from me finishing my office, right? All right, step number 1, how many pieces make a box?
This many.
Because a box has how many sides? 4 sides. All right, so we have to make a square cut on each end, okay? To make a box square, you got to start with square ends. So the first thing we're going to do is make a square cut on each outside board, but before we measure 2 of them, we're only going to cut 2 of them 3 feet. I'll show you why here in a minute. First square cut. So we got our board up here, we've got our pieces extended, and we've got the actual extension adjusted up to where it holds our board, okay? We got to check and make sure that our chop saw is not set on an angle. See how we can cut at an angle, or we can cut it straight and square? Mm-hmm. So we want it on 0 degrees. Mm-hmm. We're going to lock it in. I have already checked to make sure that 0 degrees is truly square. Okay. I've already checked to make sure that our blade is square with our cut plate at the bottom. All right. So if your blade's at an angle like this, it's going to cut your board at an angle. Or if it's at an angle this way, it's going to cut your board at an angle. We're trying to make a square, right?
That looks scary.
Looks scary?
Yeah.
It's not scary.
Like,
see?
what if I accidentally chop off my leg?
Well, the only way you're going to chop off your leg is if your leg is in the saw. So rule number 1, don't put any body parts in the saw. All right? It has a safety guard. The guard goes up automatically or down automatically. All right? Mm-hmm. I'll make the first square cut, and then we'll pull our dimension, and you make the second square cut. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the first cut, Raylan, we just want to make a square cut on this end so we can pull a dimension off of a square edge.
Is it going to throw
Okay.
sawdust on me?
There's probably going to be some sawdust, and again, we're not wanting to take much of the material off.
Just a little baby bit.
We want to take just enough to where
It's
we get a nice
perfectly
square
straight.
cut on this end. You see I'm taking basically a blade's width?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to cut. You ready?
Ah, no.
So you push the button with your thumb.
What button?
See the yellow button right here?
Yeah.
Push the button and then you squeeze the trigger with your fingers.
Look, Dad, you didn't get it all.
I see that. So
That's a problem.
one thing about rough cut oak that's been kiln dried and has dried for years, it is really, really hard. That blade is not dull. It's just the wood is very hard. And yes, we missed a little bitty spot there. So we'll flip it over. We'll get ourselves lined back up. Now what do we have there, Raylan?
Very straight.
A nice straight square cut. Now
I know what a square cut is.
Now you know what a square cut is. Now the goal is to make a 3-foot box, right?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So come over here and mark 3 feet for me.
Wait, can I have it?
Here's your pencil. Come over here and mark 3 feet for me.
Okay. Wait, from this side?
Where it says 3 feet.
Can I put it down so I can
No.
Why?
Mark it at 3 feet.
This one.
38 inches is 3 feet?
No, this one. But like I can't get it perfect without it like this.
Well, now hold on. You've obviously not read a tape measure very frequently.
It says 3 feet.
3 feet what?
2 inches.
So is that what we're trying to make? Or are we trying
this one.
Are we trying to make it exactly 3 feet?
This one.
Which is also 36 inches. So this big line right here that goes all the way across.
That also matches.
It matches.
Is that how long my board is gonna be?
Raylan,
Okay, I'm
put
going.
the 3. Is that 3 feet?
Oh no, wrong one. Sorry, guys. There we go.
We got to mark it 3 feet. How long do you think your board's going to be after we cut it?
This long.
Which is?
3 feet.
All right.
That looks like a really big box.
You want to try to make this cut?
Not really,
But you need to.
but it's gonna be scary. I was screaming just from you now, isn't it?
It's not going to be scary. So now you
Can I go from the back of it?
Nope. You cannot operate a miter saw from the back of it. So you got to make sure it's bumped all the way up against your fence.
Can you help me?
Yes, I'll help you. And look, we're bumped on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So now lower the blade a little bit without turning it on and see how close you are to your mark.
I moved it forward.
Yeah, it does both.
How does it go down?
It chops and it slides.
How do I put it down?
There you go. Keep going.
Oh, look. It's
Where'd your mark
almost
go?
over there.
So we need to slide the board your way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how about now?
Now it's over it.
Now it's over it?
Yeah.
So push it back my way until the blade touches the line. Is that too far?
There we go.
All right, you like it?
I like it.
Okay. Now, do you remember? You use your thumb to push the yellow. No, is that your thumb? Does that look like it's comfortable?
How else would I do it?
There you go.
Oh, right. You're left-handed.
Correct.
Whoops.
Which is why I put the cut on your side this time. Okay. Push the button.
I'm scared.
You got to make sure it's not on the wood.
Me.
Push the button with your thumb,
What does that do?
and then it allows you to squeeze the trigger with your fingers.
Help me.
You got it.
I'm scared.
Just turn it on. Don't try to make any cuts. Just turn it on and get used to the actual saw operating. Remember, you don't have to make a cut. Just squeeze.
I'm not strong enough.
You're not pushing the button with your thumb. Push the button with your thumb and then squeeze with your finger.
That's scary.
All right, you got it?
No.
Are you ready?
Can you help me?
You got this.
No, I need.
Confidence is key.
I need your help.
All right. Push the button with your thumb, and remember, you take the blade into the wood very slowly. And then once it hits the wood, you just put a little pressure on it with your arms, and it'll cut for you.
Can you help me?
Nope, you got it. Let's
I
go.
don't know how much pressure to get.
Ready, set, go.
No, I need your help.
You'll figure the pressure out as you start to cut.
But what if I go too fast?
You'll know if you go too fast.
What will happen?
It'll go blah. No, I'm kidding. Push the button and just go slow. Come on, let's do it.
Okay. Have I done this with that thing over there?
Come on, let's do it.
Can I use both hands?
I don't care.
Okay.
Too hard. Let off.
What?
Did you quit squeezing the trigger or did you push too hard and stall out the motor? That's the ultimate question. Try it again.
I just put it on there.
Try it again.
I'm so confused. What if I chop off your fingers on accident?
My fingers are out of the way. You can't chop them on accident.
Here we go, guys.
All right. Because you're not pushing it down or sliding it. You're learning.
Wait, do I have to slide it?
Once you start cutting and you get this front edge cut, then you slide it backwards. Did you follow instructions earlier when I cut with it?
I'm so confused.
Huh?
I'm so confused.
Well, keep going. Come on. Let's do it.
How does it cut back there?
You slide it. Push it towards the mower.
That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, because you're bottoming it out. Okay, Raylan, since you didn't follow instructions the last time, I'm going to show you one more time.
Okay.
Now follow so you can get back a little bit so you can see it all. Okay, I'm lining myself up in your cut again, all right? Again, I'm against my fence. We'll push the thumb button, then I'm going to pull it in.
Motion.
You can, or you can go down and then push back.
Is that way easier?
There is no easier. You can do it either way. Got it?
I think so.
All right.
Let's do this thing right down.
All right. I cut the square end off as well, off camera. So we got a square end. Now we're going to cut our 3-foot mark. You ready?
I think so.
All right. What do we do? Come on. Let's see if you listened.
You gotta make it to where it hits the, is that called a fence, right?
It's called a fence. So push it up against the fence on your side. All right, I got my side. See how close we are
Wait, do you have to
our
hold
mark right there.
Do you have to hold it down?
Yes, because our board's hanging off so far and we don't have the proper bench, etc., etc. Because this shouldn't take that long, even though it's taking forever. See how close you are to your mark without your blade rotating.
This way. Nope, this way. There we go.
You like it?
I think so.
Yep, looks good.
All right.
Make sure you're up against your fence.
I am.
Okay, make the cut.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
Okay. Okay, so pull this in and pull that out.
Push the thumb button and then squeeze with your fingers.
Okay. And then just go straight down and then go backwards.
Correct.
I think I got this.
Think you got this now?
No.
Let's do it. Come on. You did it, but you didn't cut it all the way through. You got to push down further.
Oh, it looked like it was.
Oh, come on. Let's go.
I thought
Come back out. There you go. Now push it all the way down before you slide it back. Up. Pick up a little bit. Do not ever start the blade with it on the wood. Start it off of the wood.
Why?
Because it'll jerk it. You could throw it everywhere. Okay? It's all cut.
How does that keep happening?
Because you're not pushing it all the way down when you slide it all the way back.
Okay, I got it.
Come on. No, you got to make sure it's lined up now.
Oh,
I'm about to go the other side because you didn't finish your cut.
Well, I thought I did.
All right, hold it against the fence.
How come you moved it?
How come you moved it?
You moved it. That wasn't my fault.
Line up your blade. Don't start it.
Nope, over. Nope, other way. Nope. Is that right?
Maybe a little bit. Should go down in the crack. There you
Yup,
go.
there we go. Are you going to stay over there?
Yep. All the way down. All the way down. That's not all the way down.
Gotta wait for it to stop again.
You don't have to wait for it to stop, but don't start it on the wood. All the way. No, it's not. Push.
I'm waiting
You're killing me, Small. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. Goodness gracious. You got it.
I thought it was gonna like.
Look at that. 6 minutes worth of video and we've cut 2 boards. Come on, sister. All right, Raylan, we have 2 3-foot boards cut. To make a box, do the next 2 sides have to be 3 feet?
Yes.
They do?
Yeah, because they have to be squares all equal sides.
So if these boards go on the inside of the boards that go on the outside.
Are we talking about the layout of it? Or like the inside?
We're talking about to make a 3-foot square. You have 4 boards. There's 2 boards. Either the top ones have to go on top of the side ones, or the side ones have to go outside of the top and bottom. So 2 boards have to be shorter by the thickness of those 2 boards. Does that make sense?
I think so.
To make a 3-foot square, and the boards go on the inside or the outside, you either have to have 2 longer boards or 2 shorter boards. Okay? We've got the option to go either direction. You want to go longer or shorter? You pick, 50-50. Longer or shorter?
Longer.
Longer. All right, let's go longer. They go on the inside.
Oh, there we go.
We want it to line up out here, right?
Oh.
Now, we measure our box. What will we measure?
30, not 38, 3 feet.
So the inside of our box is 3 feet. Now we got to screw those 4 together. So how do you think we're going to do that?
By taking it from right here
Into the thickness of the other board?
and screwing it together.
Correct. Now, since this is rough cut oak, we have to do a pre-process to that. Because rough cut oak is very hard to put screws in, so we have to pre-drill our holes. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. So we know that that board is screwing into that board, right? So we want to make ourselves a mark on the board that we're going to pre-drill. And now we know where we need to pre-drill our holes. They have to be in between that mark and the outside edge. Otherwise, oop, my pencil's in the way. Otherwise, we will miss the thickness of that board, okay? Let's pre-drill some holes. All right, you said your hands were too cold, so Daddy had to finish doing the screwing, right? All right, we got the screws in. We got one little corner that's off a little bit here, but I couldn't tweak the board anymore. And we are using rough cut oak, so it's not going to hold perfectly square because the boards aren't, but we're only about a ½ inch out, and when we go to mount this in the chicken coop, we'll get it. We did measure. We are 3 feet by 3 feet. We have not measured our cross dimension yet because we're not putting anything inside of it just yet. We've got to fabricate these boards to actually make a tic-tac-toe board, if you will, is basically what we're making here. So we're going to try to minimize the amount of screws that are needed by putting these cross boards in here, which will create 1-foot compartments. We'll end up with 9 1-foot squares throughout this entire thing. And we're going to do something a little crazy. We're going to cut these boards to the proper width and length. And then we're going to notch these boards so they tie that tic-tac-toe board together without having to cut a whole bunch of 1-foot boards. We're hoping to be able to keep everything 3 feet with notches, and then they will line themselves together. And all we will have to do is put in 2, 4, 6, 8 screws, and the entire thing will be tied together. You ready for this challenge? All right, before we put our center sections in, we got to square it up, right? So do you know what Pythagorean theorem is?
No.
Okay. Pythagorean theorem is how you determine if you have a square corner or not. So you have 2 dimensions and then a cross dimension. Okay? So this is A. This is B.
C.
There you go. See, you do know what it is. And then this cross dimension from here to here will be C. Okay? So we're 3 feet by 3 feet, right? We know that. So it's 3 feet squared plus 3 feet squared equals C squared. So 3 squared is what? 3 times 3.
Oh, 9.
Okay, so we do that twice. So 9 plus 9 is what?
18.
18. So now we do the square root of 18. Yeah, that's a little bit more difficult. I did it on my calculator.
So
It's 4.25 feet, basically. We're going to round up a little bit. So 4 feet and then a quarter of a foot. How many inches are in a foot?
12.
What is 12 divided by 4?
3.
So we need to be, on that cross dimension, 4 foot 3 inches. Okay? You hold me right over there in that corner. On the inside corner. You on the inside corner?
I think so.
There you go. What's that measure there, folks? 4 foot 3 inches.
Hint.
We must have built a pretty good box.
I'm gonna let this go.
That's fine. I'm prepared. All right, so now we can start preparing our crosses. Well, we only had one catastrophic failure. And our rough cut oak broke there. It must have been cracked and we didn't see it. So we notched it and it cracked off. But we were able to salvage the piece. So we'll trim that off, put one extra screw in there to hold that divider together. But all in all, we were going after 12-inch by 12-inch.
Yep.
And we've got 12-inch by 11.5.
Good enough.
Good enough for the chickens?
Yeah.
You think they'll get in there?
I think so.
You think they'll get in there?
Yeah.
And put their eggs where they're supposed to? Are you going to put an Easter egg in there to train them where to put their eggs?
They'll eat it.
Well, you know, there may or may not be some solid white eggs running around here from when we had chickens before. Because sometimes free-range chickens need a little helping hand on ensuring that they know where the egg goes.
They have to go to school.
Here's the funny part. When we had chickens before, I used white eggs. These chickens lay brown eggs. But they still put their brown eggs, where the white eggs were. So I don't think it matters what the color is. I think it just matters that there's an egg-shaped object in the nest box you want them to put it in.
So I could put a pink one in there?
Maybe, but the pink ones are thin plastic, and what you stated about them eating them may be the case. So we've got one divider board to put in. Raylan is about to freeze to death. It's about 20 degrees out there.
Mom made some warm chili, and I'm looking at it, and I just want it to be in my belly.
Warm chili in the belly. So, what do we have left after we put that one divider board in?
Stick it in the chicken coop.
We need a solid back on it, don't we?
Oh, yeah, so you got to go get that thingy downstairs.
So we got to screw a board to the back of it, but we also found out that we were running a little bit shorter on screws than what we assumed. So we got to pick up some screws. So to finish this project, we will put a back on it so it'll be a solid backed piece, and I'll make sure that that back is a little bit wider than the outside of the nest boxes on 3 sides, not 4 sides. And then we'll screw that backer to the actual wall in the chicken coop, and everything will be held together. Our tic-tac-toe board turned out all right, except for one divider, huh?
You lost the thing.
Did you learn anything, Raylan?
Yeah,
What'd you learn?
a lot.
You can't name it though, can you? Did you learn how to operate a miter saw, a compound miter saw?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did you learn how to pre-drill holes?
Yeah.
Did you learn how to put screws in with a drill? Even though you've done that before, but the pre-drilling's a little bit different, isn't it? Do you know why we pre-drilled?
No.
We pre-drilled so that wouldn't happen on everything. So if you don't pre-drill a hole, sometimes it will split the board, and then your screw is useless.
That's nice.
So does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
No.
I know you never, ever, ever know what's going to come across my channel. We've had quoting jobs for Dirt Perfect. We've had running equipment. We've had renovating a castle. We now have building nest boxes or chicken nests boxes for chickens. We've had mowers. You just never know. What we do is video what we do in our life. It really isn't all coined to one specific thing, market, or anything. There's a whole lot of other stuff we do in our life, which may be coming on the channel.
We're doing this.
All right. Today we're finishing the nest boxes with Miss Raylan, aren't we? The next step
Buckets.
is, well, you determined that that's not deep enough for a next nest box, right?
Yeah, I know where to be.
Daddy planned ahead a little bit based off the materials we had and how to make nest boxes as efficiently as possible for you, with you thinking this was going to be enough, and then you were like, oh wait, Dad, that's not deep enough, right? So luckily we made this thing 12-inch by 12-inch squares or close to that, right? We're pretty close. So now we had to run an audible because Raylan's initial thought of the depth of 6 inches being enough wasn't enough. So we went to Roll King last night, didn't we? We bought a bunch of 5-gallon buckets.
Buckets.
Huh?
It's supposed to be 3 gallons, but they didn't have any.
Supposed to be 3.5 gallons, so they're not quite as deep. However, we still think they're going to work, don't we?
Yep.
How do you think these things are going to go in there?
Shove them.
Let's see what you got. Think it's going to fit? Oh, look at that. Dad was right. Now, if you push it far enough, that lip will actually catch it. You gotta push this. There you go. Look at that. So now we are going to, and again, yes, I shouldn't say again, but we will remove all of these handles. We're gonna throw these buckets in there and then determine if the buckets need to be screwed off or not. I don't think they're gonna need to be screwed off because I think we built it properly at the right dimension and everything is gonna fit nice and tight. But I do believe you may, long term, you might figure this out as your chickens start having eggs. You may figure out that you need to run a board right here.
Yeah, because they're going to roll out.
To make sure that nothing falls out of there. Or when we mount this on the wall, we kick it back just a little bit so everything goes to the back of the bucket instead of the front of the bucket.
That's smart.
What?
Not as much work.
All right, let's put some buckets in. Well, there it is, Raylan.
I just gave myself this.
You have 9 nest boxes. We did have to screw off 3 of them.
Yeah, this was a little
This-
bit too big, but
Raylan must have pulled the wrong dimension when we made it, huh? Think it was your fault? Probably my fault, right?
you did the measurements.
We very easily could have taken out these 2 screws, this screw, that screw, and the 2 screws on the bottom. Trimmed each of the shelf boards, if you will, the bottom, the 2 middle, and the top. But Raylan said, let's just screw that off because it might make it easier for us to sneak a board in here to come out the backside to screw this thing into the actual chicken coop, right? Well, there it is. Nest boxes built by this little crapper right here and her daddy. She learned how to use a saw. You learned how to read a tape measure. You learned how to pre-drill holes, and you learned how to install screws, right?
The scariest
Last
part.
step is putting it in the actual chicken coop. And she and I are going to take care of that here in just a minute. But as for this video, it was just a video of making nest boxes. Now, I think there's a really short video of you maybe getting your first egg that I might put on here towards the end. So we're only a couple of days behind on the nest boxes. And look, they even want to come see their new nest boxes. They just decide they go wherever they want. These are free-range chickens. They're Isa Browns. I don't remember if we said that earlier in the video or not, but Raylan seems to love her chickens. Do not kiss that chicken. And the chickens don't mind her and her craziness. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, like, comment, subscribe.